of dogs, this is a dog with a very special structure and appearance. What were they designed and created for, and what have they been used for in the past? We talk with Anniko Fulop, European breeder. The interview was translated to English.
They belong to the family of hounds and bloodhounds and were bred by the English. In order to achieve this size and character set, the English bloodhound was actually crossed with French hound breeds, such as the Artesian Normand and the Basset Hound. The goal was to create a hound that was shorter than the bloodhound and could go after the wounded game in the dense undergrowth and in the bushes. So, they are not dogs that fetch or retrieve. They were invented to find wounded game everywhere, so they can be considered a kind of hunting dogs.
Are they still used for their original tasks today?
In their original function, they are not used much in England anymore. In the hunting community, the Basset is rumoured to be able to just lie on the couch and do nothing all day. I don't necessarily agree with this. The old instinct can still be found in them. Based on my experience, they are excellent search dogs. Bassets do not work like other dogs, which stems from their past. As I mentioned, in the past, they did not retrieve the game, but looked for it independently and then indicated its location. They were an agile, persistent dog breed for a long time, which changed in many respects when they started to be bred for extremities. I am thinking of very short and very skinny dogs, which was due to the fact that they had a very popular period, a booming breed, and hobby owners expected these extremities, which in many cases were accompanied by health problems. The extra abundant skin the dog, the folds on its body, the extra short legs, its belly and everything of the male reaching the ground. The joints also became very loose, and the eyes were very open. Unfortunately, there was a period when fashion and some irresponsible breeders did this. In fact, the alarm bell was set, and the negative trend was finally reversed by the fact that in 2010 they were added to the list of blatantly sickly breeds in England. After that, the breeders began to concentrate very much on eliminating these problems.
What became of the hunting dog? What is it like to live with this dog breed in 2025?
They have become real fun masters and family dogs in the meantime. They are capable of a lot of fun. What remains in them is their ability to sniff and search. During the walk, they sniff constantly, their noses down on the ground, so walking them without a leash is only possible for very self-controlled dogs. If they pick up on something, the world closes around them and they are able to move in such a way that there is no chance of catching up with them. Since they have been selected for independent work, they are not the type of dogs that come back immediately at the first word, like other breeds who cling to their owners. Well, the Basset doesn't hang when I say something to him. I can see that he thinks about it several times if he really have to do it now, whether I really have to go there. That is why they need a lot of consistency, but if they have it, they are able to stand their ground in several areas of life. For example, we go to agility work with one of my dogs, and it was surprising to me how well my dog could be motivated to do so. Obviously, we don't race. We will never win an agility competition with it, but this activity is excellent for building relationships. He usually runs 2 to 3 laps and then signals that, okay, I would stop doing this now.
For those who are not familiar with the breed, perhaps the size of their ears is one of the most surprising things about the Basset Hound's appearance. Do these huge ears have any role?
In the case of Basset Hounds, this huge ear and many folds on the muzzle have developed because they help them smell better. As the dog moves and holds its nose to the ground, the ears also help to direct smells and scents to the nose. According to the current standard, the ears reach in front of the dog's nose, but the goal is that it should not be long enough for the dog to step on. Of course, this is different in puppyhood as the ears suddenly stretch and the body is smaller, so accidents can happen. The Basset Hound, contrary to popular belief, is a heavy, strongly built dog breed. The weight of males can reach 60 to 75 pounds. They are bony dogs, and, to the surprise of many, they belong to the larger dog category in feeding and keeping. The guidelines that apply to a large dog must be followed. They are large-bodied dogs with small legs. A male weighs over 60 pounds, not because he is fat, but because they have plenty of bone material in them. The bone-weight ratio of some specimens can reach 25% of the whole body weight. There is no other dog breed that has such a high index. During breeding, we do not strive to make them bird-boned. They have good little bear paws.
As a breeder who has met many prospective owners, what do you think? Who is this special dog breed for?
I'd start with those for whom it's not ideal for. It is not suitable for those who are particularly sensitive to their well-maintained garden or are cleanliness maniacs. They like to rearrange their environment, they like to dig, and they shed their fur and drool a little, so they are not the most sterile and cleanest dog breed. I would only recommend them as a first dog, if there is really consistency in the owner. If someone lets this breed grow on their head and raises them too leniently, they can become very hard-headed, and the dog will do what he wants. In this case, they can become quite tyrannical, climb on top of the table, lie down in bed, even growl at the owner. It is not suitable for those who have no idea about dog training, as it is a strong-willed breed. I would also not recommend it to those who are very sporty and want to do active, high-effort sports, because you can't run with them permanently for long distance. They will never be as fast and agile as a border collie or a poodle, for example. On the other hand, for those who like hiking but don't overdo it and cover tens of miles, they can be ideal partners for shorter distances at a medium pace. Perhaps the best wording is that it is for people with a medium vibration level, not for the hyperactive layer who like to have a little activity, but basically want a dog with a calmer character.
You mentioned earlier that there may be health problems with the breed. How typical is this, and how can it be avoided?
You have to try to avoid dogs with extremities, so you have to look for breeder says who strive to create a bloodline of healthy and agile dogs. So don't let Basset Hounds be too skinny and very short, who can barely walk. By the way, I think that ethical breeders are already striving for this and do their work honestly. The old negative extremes have almost completely disappeared in Europe. Nowadays, it is rare to have an outward eyelid and cherry eye, which can be easily corrected. What you need to pay attention to due to the folds is the variety as the fungus that can occur. It appears in the form of a brownish discoloration on the chin and armpits and in the folds of the abdomen. If left untreated, it turns red and most veterinarians diagnose it as a food allergy. So, it is worth using baths and products that are antifungal and can be kept completely in order.